Welcome to Alternative Investments Chat,
where we demystify the world of alternative investments and financing for entrepreneurs and investors alike.
With these discussions, we hope you're more empowered to unlock opportunities in your business or portfolio. I'm Erin.
And I'm Erica. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Alternative Investments Chat. Today, we are shining a spotlight on precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, palladium. So these aren't just your shiny trinkets. There's some serious alternative assets with staying power.
Yeah, that's right. From ancient vaults to modern ETFs, precious metals have become a store of value for millennia, right? We will unpack what they are, why they matter, how to invest, and risks to dodge. Let's mine. Here's another episode with more puns.
Oh, yes.
Let's mine the potential of this glittering asset class. Erica, break down what a precious metal is, if you would.
I would love to. So precious metals are rare, naturally occurring metallic chemical elements of high economic value. So these metals are prized for their scarcity, industrial uses, and role as investments and stores of value, like we said. So their key characteristics are high economic value. They are more valuable than common industry metals like iron or copper.
Right.
Okay. The scarcity that I mentioned just a second ago.
Yep.
They're found in limited quantities in nature.
Yep.
Their luster and their beauty, much like you and I. They're often used in jewelry and decorative arts.
Right.
There's corrosion and oxidation resistance. So many are highly resistant to tarnishing and rust. And then you have their industrial and technology applications. So they're used in electronics, medicine, and renewable energy. Okay, so that's all the boring stuff. Let's get that out of the way. So now I want to break down these types of precious metals, okay? Let's set the scene. You and I are the reporters here. So the press has been called. And everyone's clamoring to see who's shown up with cameras at the ready. Our first star makes their appearance. It's the Beyonce of metals. Gold.
Where's my fan?
Woo. Oh, yeah. With our hair flying. Yeah.
That is right. This diva has been turning heads for roughly 6,000 years. She's shiny, she's rare, and she has been hoarded by pharaohs, pirates. Pirates are my favorite.
Yeah.
And the people who watch way too many YouTube videos about inflation.
You all know one of those persons.
Buying lots of gold. Gold doesn't rust. It doesn't tarnish. And unlike your ex, it doesn't lose value overnight.
Yeah, we all have one of those.
Yeah, it happened to me once or twice. It's basically the golden retriever of the element table. That's cute, right?
Yes.
Loyal, adorable, and everybody wants one.
Yes,
Also, fun fact, if you hammered all of the gold ever mined into a cube, this cube would be about 73 feet per side. Okay? That is smaller than a baseball field.
It's not very big.
Not very big. So your grandma's necklace that's made of solid gold that everyone's, clamoring over, it's a pretty big deal.
Up next, we've got silver, the middle child of the precious metals here. Not as flashy as its older sibling gold, but a complete and utterly team player. So need some electrical conductivity? Silver's got you. You want to slay some werewolves? Yep, silver again. Multi-talented and stylish. Basically the Zendaya of metals. Okay. Also, it has a history of being used as actual money. So if you ever feel poor, like I do often, just remember your spoons might be literally richer than you. Those silver spoons.
There's a reason why, Jean Valjean was stealing the silver candlesticks. Sorry, that's a theater reference.
Let me in on that.
Moving on. Now entering the club with sunglasses on.
Fancy.
Because very cool, right? Platinum. This metal is rare, expensive, and it sounds like a secret Bond villain organization.
I want in.
Yeah, just my opinion. It's also strong enough to survive chemical attacks and snooty stares from other metals. Stands the test of time. You've heard of platinum records, platinum credit cards, even platinum hair. This is the word you hear and you think of luxury, right?
Yes.
But it's not just a pretty face. It actually has some, more day-to-day uses as well. Okay. Platinum is used in catalytic converters. So every time that your car starts, you can thank this silvery hero. Fun fact, my catalytic converter was stolen twice out of my Prius. You knew me when that happened. And that happened in the span of 6 months. So people were going underneath my car, taking my catalytic converter because it had platinum in it.
Yep.
So my insurance company was very concerned that I was committing fraud. I wasn't, promise. It really was gone. And apparently Priuses have like the higher concentration of platinum in the catalytic converter. Anyways, after the second time, I sold the car. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I was like,
remember
whatever.
that.
I'm done with it. I need to drive this car. Anyways, so
I absolutely remember that.
yeah, I was just unlucky.
When we were writing this episode, I kind of chuckled because I was like, is this going to be some kind of PTSD for Erin? And
it's fine. You know, you live and you learn. I did have to fight with the insurance company and they had to do like an investigation. And I was like, you can, it's fine because it is gone and I didn't steal it. So
one of them happened when we were at work, right?
yes, it did. It was in the parking lot at work.
Yeah. No, I did it.
Oh,
Just kidding.
no, it was somebody. I don't even
know how to get underneath there and get it out. Anyway. All right. Finally, let's give a shout out to the lesser known stars around here.
All right.
We've got palladium, rhodium, and ruthenium.
Okay.
So basically, I call these guys the bad boy band of precious metals.
Okay, cool.
You don't always remember their names, can't really say them sometimes.
But you like the way they look.
But they can carry a harmony, if you know what I mean. So palladium, that's been killing it in the audio industry. Okay. Rhodium, super rare, more expensive than anything you could ever dream of.
Wow. Okay.
I'd love to get my hands
That's
on
like the
some of
hot
that.
one.
Yeah, exactly. And ruthenium, well, honestly, it just sounds like a wizard name, and that's
Yeah, it kind of does.
I'm here for it. But it's actually used in electronics and is in hardening agents for
Cool.
alloys. So now that all of our A-listers have walked that red carpet, we know who they are. Let's break down why each one of them actually matter in alternative investments. And again, let's start with our gold, or as I like to call it, the financial panic button.
Yes, exactly. So people get scared, they buy a lot of gold, right? When the stock market is crashing out, gold. When your boyfriend breaks up with you, gold. It is the answer to everything.
Yes.
Not really, but it kind of feels that way sometimes, the way people talk about it. It is a little bit like the grandma of finance. It's wise, comforting, and not afraid to outlive everybody else. Gold's going to stick around.
Yes, she is.
And it's what we call a safe haven asset. And what that means is that when stuff hits the fan, this is inflation, recession, major celebrity breakups, why that would cause you to change your financial decisions, I don't know. But
some people do weird stuff when they found out.
Weird stuff. That's true. But gold tends to hold steady or even go up during these times. It is the calm in the chaos. It is the anti-roller coaster, the vanilla ice cream of investing.
Yes, it is.
Classic and always there when you need it. Dependable.
I like it. Well, then we have our silver. So not just for fancy wear or vampire slaying here. So this metal's got some real investment swagger, if you ask me. Silver's kind of like gold, but more affordable. It's like affordable younger sibling who's into tech startups.
Oh, okay.
It has industrial value too. It's used in solar panels,
Right.
electronics, batteries, you name it. So when tech and green energy boom, silver shines. That's where you're going to go. It is slightly more volatile than gold, yes. But, if you look at it really, volatility equals opportunity.
Ah, that's interesting.
It's kind of like I want to live dangerously, but kind of responsible option for your portfolio there.
Yeah, well, now that you said that it's like the younger sibling that is a tech startup, all I'm thinking about is Silver wearing a Patagonia vest. But
there we go.
So now we're going to loop back over to platinum and palladium. These are the brunch buddies of high-end investing.
Everybody wants them in their group.
Yes, exactly. These aren't just names for hair colors that you might pick out at a salon.
Yes.
They are used very heavily in automotive manufacturing, especially for emissions control, that really annoying light that goes on in your car and you have to go and get that checked out. So their prices can zigzag a little bit based on supply chains, car demand, or potentially whatever Elon Musk says that day. He's really, he's having an effect right now.
Yes, he is.
I'm not going to say what effect, but I'm just going to say there is an effect. It's happening.
Yeah.
And why does this matter for alternative investing? Because they don't move in lockstep with stocks or even gold, right? They've got their own vibe. They got their own mind. You can kind of think of them as your quirky, rich aunt who shows up once a year with the bizarre gifts and excellent market timing. It's exactly what you wanted.
See,
right?
I'm the quirky aunt, but I'm going to show up a little bit more than once a year.
Yeah, you are. You do. You show up a lot. But all boils down to diversification. That's our number one word, right? And it is the spice of the investment life.
Yes, it is. You know how much I love that word, diversification. So basically what we want investors to know here is that precious metals add balance. They're tangible, they're durable, they're non-correlated.
Right.
If the stock market crashes, metals hold tight. Inflation is soaring, metals might hedge. Crypto doing whatever the hell crypto does, I don't know. Half the time, still don't really understand it, but I'm going to pretend one day. Metals just exist there peacefully in a vault, just somewhere out there, just giving you googly eyes. Okay, so we've discussed what constitutes a precious metal and what it can do for your portfolio. But how do you actually invest in this asset class?
Great question.
I think we can lay out a beautiful buffet of options here. So whether you want to hold it, trade it, or whisper sweet nothings to it from a distance. We got you guys. We got you.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
So let's start old school. Seems only right.
Yep.
Like ancient civilization, old school.
That's how we normally do it here.
The OG, okay? Yeah. These are the physical precious metals. This is the original investment flex. This is what the pirates were after. Yeet. This is what, people were passing down for generations, the physical things. It's real, it's shiny, it clinks. Funny story. Yeah, funny story. Real quick. My sister used to be obsessed with the way high heels sounded. She used to always call them click clicks. So
I love it.
So it's like, your jewelry is like your clink clinks.
I love it.
You could touch it. Obviously, it's physical, and you can hide it in a sock drawer. Some people do.
Yep.
You can stare at it and feel powerful, maybe cast a magic spell, whatever you feel.
I believe it.
But if you're into the tactile, tangible treasure, these can be the types for you.
All right, tell me.
So there's bullion bars. You get more metal for less of the premium. So these are like the bricks. Like when you see in a TV show and they open up the vault.
And it's like stacked like a beautiful pyramid.
Exactly. This is what those are. Bullion bars. Not bullion cubes. Bullion bars.
Those are different.
Just make sure that it's real before you actually invest in it. You don't want to just invest in like something that's spray painted gold, right?
No, we don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that. There's also coins. I'm sure somebody out there has a grandpa who's really obsessed with coins. Yep. Think American gold eagles, Canadian maple leafs, Krugerrands. They're easier to trade. They're recognized worldwide, and sometimes they're just really cool to have.
I love old coins. I really do.
Also, junk silver, which is misleading because that name makes it seem like, it's not worth anything. But these are actually pre-1965 U.S. coins with real silver in them. It's like investing, and you get a little bit of that time travel feel.
Yeah, because those don't exist anymore.
Yes, exactly. Now, if you don't want to be lugging around these ginormous bars of silver or gold, there are other options, ones that include less physical labor, I would say.
Okay.
ETFs, we've talked about them a lot. They are the fast food of precious metal investing.
I agree, yeah.
Quick and easy, and you're not going to get any weird questions about, why do you have all these gold bricks? Where'd you get them from? Are you a pirate? Are you?
If I am, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, nothing really. I guess I just might ask. But you don't have to like stuff a bunch of gold bars in your carry-on and try to get it through security.
Oh, TSA, God, I don't even want to know what that.
They might just arrest you on the spot. To be honest. Yeah, so don't have to worry about that with those. So the most popular are GLD, which you might not be surprised to know that it tracks the price of gold.
Yeah, makes sense.
SLV, what might that be?
Silver.
Perfect. And PLTM and PALL, which is for platinum and palladium. You won't own the physical metal, but your portfolio will know because it's included there, and it will thank you, hopefully, with gentle and glittering returns, which is what you want.
That's exactly what we want. So now let's get a little bit more spicy. So instead of owning the metal itself, why not invest in the people who pull it out of the ground? Mining stocks.
Interesting.
They're like betting on the metal and the miner's hustle. So they include majors. Those like Barrick Gold or New Mountain Corporation, well-established, less volatile. Okay. You've got juniors, smaller companies, bigger risks, but potentially bigger rewards. We always know that.
This is like baseball.
It really is. The majors and the minors.
Yeah.
And then we've got the streaming royalty companies like Franco-Nevada. They don't mind.
Okay.
But they profit from other miners.
Okay.
So basically like they're the record label of the precious metal world.
Okay, interesting. I like that comparison.
Yeah. So did you also know that you can have precious metals in your retirement account?
Ooh.
Yes, you can. So self-directed IRAs allow you to hold gold, silver, and even platinum, tax advantages here, so in your retirement account. So we have to remember back to the episode that we did on self-directed IRAs because there's a few caveats here. So you have to have an approved custodian, don't forget. Not all coins or bars actually qualify as an investment. And remember, there are fees. So nothing screams golden years like actual gold. Put some of that in your retirement.
Yes, exactly right. So now that we know that investors come in all shapes and sizes, and some have more experience than others, right? We know that. This next option is a bit of a advanced level strategy. So it's not for everybody. Let's talk about futures and options. We did talk about this recently.
Yes.
If that episode where we talked about futures and option made your head spin, this is probably not the option for you, but we'll talk about it nonetheless.
There we go.
So you're not actually buying the metal. You are betting on price movements. You can win big or lose everything twice as fast. Remember that these strategies are great for hedging or speculation or developing gray hairs faster than your peers.
Yeah, these are very stressful
Can
times.
be really
sometimes.
stressful. Some people love it though.
Yeah.
Like we've said before, this isn't just a DIY strategy. You're not just going to want to slap it together and move on. It's 2025-ish, right? So we want to be researched. And not only that, we also want to look into some other options. And what is like the latest thing, the latest and greatest? We got cryptocurrencies, specifically metal-backed cryptocurrencies.
Yep. Tell me about them.
So here are a few examples here. There's PAXG, this is Paxos Gold. This is a token backed by real gold stored in London vaults. They probably got a lot of those bars.
Yeah.
There's also Tether Gold. This is XAUT. This is a similar deal, different flavor as the Paxos Gold.
Okay.
And then there's also gold and silver apps like One Gold or Vaulted, where you can buy, sell, and accumulate like you're playing financial Pokemon.
I like it. Get all the cards.
Yeah, like, got to catch them all.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Exactly.
But not Pokemon Go.
No, that one you have to go out and do.
Yeah, not that one. This is all on your phone, and you're collecting all the things. It is like combining the trust of gold with the chaos of crypto. If you're really into crypto or want to get involved, this could be a cool option for you.
I'm telling you, one day I'm going to finally understand crypto. Today is not the day, and I still don't get it.
We're getting closer every time.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. So now we have to take off those rose gold glasses and look at the real stuff. Gold shiny and silver's really pretty.
Sure.
But this isn't a fairy tale.
Make good jewelry.
Yeah. This is finance. So what comes with finance? Risks. It's time to break down those risks.
We know, yeah.
Yeah. So precious metals can be volatile.
Yep.
Okay. Gold might be the safe haven, but even it likes to throw a little tantrum here and there. And prices can swing due to a few reasons.
Right.
Inflation panic, interest rate changes, or global drama, economic or political. Okay. Silver, if you can believe it, is even wilder. it's got industrial uses. So it reacts to tech trends, supply chain hiccups, and most likely, I'm going to guess, Mercury in retrograde. This thing just does whatever it wants. But here's the not so shiny truth behind these precious metals do not generate income.
Okay.
That's right. No dividends, no interest, no rental checks from your gold bar saying, hey, thanks for letting me crash on your couch today.
Yeah, for
nope,
sure.
You don't get any of those. So what you're doing when you actually invest in gold is you're hoping, or silver, is you're just hoping that the value goes up over time.
Yeah.
That's basically it. You just get it and then you watch it. Stare at it like paint drying.
Exactly. Now let's consider if you went the physical route. Now you own that pirate treasure, right?
Yeah, I like it.
So now where do you put it? Do you put it under the bed? Do you put it in your freezer? Do you bury it in the backyard? No, you need storage, actual storage. So this can mean a home safe. This would probably be something that's fireproof and or waterproof. You don't want it to get damaged.
Okay.
A bank safety deposit box. This can come with fees and access limitations as well. Yeah. Or third-party vaulting services. These are convenient, but you got to trust the provider. Make sure that they're not going anywhere. They're keep track of your stuff, keeping it safe.
Exactly.
And let's also not forget insurance, because if someone breaks in and runs off with your Krugerrands, what are you going to do? That's obviously a very not fun call to make to your agent to have to report that they've been stolen.
I can see you. Yes, they stole my catalytic converter twice. Yes, they stole my Krugerrands. No, I'm not doing fraud.
Yeah, first of all,
your insurance agency is going to be like, get away from us, lady.
Yeah, first of all, I need to get some Krugerrands, which if anybody wants to give some to me, I'll gladly take them.
You can go treasure hunting if you want.
Yeah, I guess we could. And then we've also talked about this next risk when it comes to tangible assets, and that is scams and fakes, right? We need to be aware of dealers who are hyping up rare coins with sky-high premiums, gold-plated coins that look a lot like the real thing but actually aren't.
Yeah.
And limited edition silver eagles from some random guy who's trying to sell you them. You want to be careful, right?
I think I've met some of those people who are like, I've only got one. You're like, yeah, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, you want to verify.
Yeah.
So you want to check on the dealer's reputation, spot price versus the premium, and whether you're buying the metal for its value or the collectible hype.
Okay.
And please, for the love of everything that's in your retirement account, if a stranger says, we're going to guarantee double returns on all these things that you buy from me, you need to run away.
Go. Get away.
Yeah, get away from them. Again, the G word, bad.
Yeah.
We don't trust anybody with the G word.
No. So let's get philosophical here for just a second here. Okay, bring it on. Precious metals are a hedge, okay? But they're not a magic money tree.
Right.
They're not going to fix everything. They're best used to balance your portfolio. They protect against inflation, currency devaluation, and financial doomsday scenarios. Mm-hmm. But if you go all in and you skip all the stocks, the real estate, or, something weird, you want to invest in something off the charts, some kind of REIT, you're putting all of those golden eggs into one basket. We know, we've said this many a times, unless you want breakfast, spread those bad boys around, okay?
Yep.
It can be risky. So think of precious metals like hot sauce. Okay, they're great for flavor, but not ideal for a full meal.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. So there you have it. Precious metals aren't flawless, even if they look like it. Yeah. They are powerful tools, but they come with quirks, risks, and a whole lot of buyer beware. Mm-hmm. Precious metals can offer stability, diversification, and a stake in industrial growth, from gold's safe haven status to silver's tech boom. They are accessible and enduring, which makes them attractive.
Yeah, so the key is strategy here. So know what roles metal play in your plan. Don't just hoard gold like you're prepping for a zombie apocalypse. Right. And if you are, that's totally fine.
I don't think the zombies are going to want the gold, though. But
but you can hit them if you have a bullion bar. That could just knock them over the head.
Weapon.
Okay. So if you are, that's cool. And, again, silver bullets, they don't actually contain any actual silver, so don't try to kill vampires or anything with them. Just saying out there, okay?
Yes, exactly. So go out, diversify, and remember, not all that glitters is gold. But if it does, maybe consider buying it. After research, of course. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more insight on our next episode.
And don't forget to subscribe to continue the alternative investments chat.
See you next time.
Content provided in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as professional, financial, or investment advice. This podcast should not be construed as an offer to sell or a solicitation of any offer to buy any securities. We strongly recommend that you seek advice from a qualified professional before making any financial decisions.